This is ABC 7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A new app called Pokemon Go is taking the nation by storm. People say it's a lot of fun, but it also poses some risks. ABC 7's Kate Flexter is joining us live from Sarasota's Payne Park with the details on this game craze. Kate.
That's right, Haley. Earlier in the broadcast, we told you a little bit about how this app works, but it's a little complicated. So just to kind of recap, the app actually uses your phone's GPS and camera to help you catch Pokemon around the park. Not just this park, all over town. But there are some safety concerns associated with it. Earlier this week, there was a situation in Missouri where teens lured people to a certain location and then robbed them. No incidents like that here in Sarasota, but the police department is telling people to be careful.
Our officers ask people out on the street when they see them, are you trying to catch Pokemon? You know, we're trying to take part in the fun, but it also has a serious underlying that you really need to be careful when you're playing this game because it can distract you while you're driving. And if you're looking at your phone while walking around a park, you know, you may not be aware of what's going on around you.
The other big safety concern is being safe, you know, while you're driving and walking around with your head in your phone. We'll tell you more about that coming up at 6 o'clock. Haley?
Thank you, Kate. Florida Highway Patrol needs your help in identifying a driver who hit a 13-year-old bicyclist last week. It happened off of Clay Gully and Altman Road in Manatee County last Wednesday. According to FHP, the 13-year-old was riding on Clay Gully away from the intersection at County Line Road. An unknown driver approaching that intersection slammed into the teen. He was taken to Tampa General Hospital. The driver fled the scene. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call Florida Highway Patrol. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has arrested a couple they say sold drugs in their car with children inside. On 4 separate occasions, deputies say Destiny Dexter and Reginald Frazier met with undercover detectives selling cocaine for $400. During each transaction, the couple had at least 2 children in the car. In the most recent incident, there were 4 children. Both are being charged with child neglect and cocaine sale. They're being held at the Sarasota County Jail. The children were released to relatives. A judge is ruling a Sarasota City Commissioner did not violate the Sunshine Law, but this long legal battle may not be over. Judge Brian Eiten announced his ruling on Friday, but Citizens for Sunshine is already planning to appeal the decision. Other questions still remain, such as who will pay the nearly $350,000 for Chapman's legal bills. The commissioner says she was just doing her job.
I was listening to my constituents. I didn't go out to pick this fight. They picked it against me.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, we'll find out where the case goes from here and if the ruling could affect the enforcement of the Sunshine Law locally. Overseas, Britain will be saying goodbye to one prime minister and welcoming another. Prime Minister David Cameron says he'll be stepping down tomorrow, making way for Theresa May to succeed him as the new British leader. European officials say it's important that Britain's next prime minister gets on without sorting out all of the implications of the decision to leave the European Union as soon as possible. Cameron says the new leader will have his full support and is more than capable of getting the job done.
She is strong, she is competent, she's more than able to provide the leadership that our country is going to need in the years ahead, and she will have my full support.
Cameron says he will attend a final session of the Prime Minister's questions tomorrow before going to visit Queen Elizabeth and then handing in his resignation. Back here in Florida, former Florida governor and presidential candidate Jeb Bush is sending his support to a Tampa Bay congressman. Jeb Bush is endorsing Congressman David Jolly for re-election. Jolly supported Bush in the presidential primary, and it seems like Bush is returning the favor. Jolly faces retired Marine Mark Bircher in the August 30th Republican primary. The winner of that contest will face former Governor Charlie Crist, who is running as a Democrat. And now we'll get a check on our forecast. Head over to Bob. I have a feeling not a lot has changed, Bob. It is still hot.
It's still hot, yeah. Temperatures still into the low 90s for the most part. There are some cooling showers around, one specifically near Northport, and we are anticipating a chance for a few scattered showers making their way back toward the coast later on this evening. Temperatures staying warm, though, 84 degrees at 11 o'clock. That's the projection right now. We mentioned that isolated shower activity developing now along the sea breeze front. We have had our first lightning strike, too, with this cell located near Northport. Just in the last 2 minutes now, we've had a couple of lightning strikes near Northport. You can see that activity now just to the south of I-75 near Warm Mineral Springs. So this one's starting to generate some lightning, and this will start to slowly work its way toward the west. So keep an eye on that one. Others will be popping up down the way. Well, more of that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. 2 Republican lawmakers are calling for Florida to expand its hate crimes laws to include attacks on police officers and firefighters. The Blue Lives Matter proposal came last Friday, a day after the Dallas shootings. Right now, the hate crimes law increases penalties if offenses are based on factors such as race, religion, sexual orientation, or mental or physical disability. But lawmakers are seeking to expand those offenses this year to include law enforcement. They say the legislation is necessary even before the deadly events of last week.
They get attacked, unfortunately, quite often, and they're the first people to a dangerous scene, so they're in a vulnerable state. They're responding to an emergency, and oftentimes that puts them in a situation where they can be blindsided by stuff.
Similar proposals were filed in Tallahassee during the 2016 legislative session, but did not reach the House or Senate floors. Louisiana now has a comparable law approved by its legislature this year. While many are mourning the loss of those Dallas officers, thousands are still upset over the police killings of 2 black men, and they are taking their cause to the streets. Protesters in Philadelphia are now on their 6th day, chanting and holding signs that read, "White silence is violence." People are continuing to struggle with the police killings of Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge and Philando Castile in Minnesota, whose death was live streamed on Facebook by his fiancée. Overall, at least 300 protesters have been arrested. Authorities and protest leaders have called for calm, while others say the nation has to come together for a collective solution.
For us to move forward, we all got to do this collectively, and certainly there's a lot of pain and a lot of hurt to go around, but we still got to survive as a nation.
President Obama will be in Dallas tomorrow to speak at a memorial service for the 5 police officers who were killed. And the ambush in Dallas is becoming a key point on the campaign trail. With just 1 week before the Republican National Convention, the issue of race is now center stage. And Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are striking very different tones. ABC's Lana Zak has the latest from Washington.
I am the law and order candidate.
Donald Trump campaigning with a new twist on a familiar slogan.
Make America safe again for everyone.
Trump calling for an end to, quote, hostility against our police, while also acknowledging the heartbreak over the police shootings of 2 black men.
The tragic deaths in Louisiana and Minnesota make clear that the work must be done to ensure, and a lot of work, that Americans feel that their safety is protected.
But Trump's potential VP pick, Chris Christie, seemed to place blame on protesters and the current leadership.
We need a president who once again will put law and order at the top of the priority of the presidency in this country.
Trump supporter Rudy Giuliani on CBS suggesting the bigger problem is black-on-black crime.
If I were a black father and I was concerned about the safety of my child, I would say be very respectful to police. I'd also say be very careful of those kids in the neighborhood and don't get involved with them, because, son, there's a 99% chance they're going to kill you, not the police.
Hillary Clinton on CNN saying white Americans need to step up.
I'm going to be talking to white people. I think we're the ones who have to start listening to the legitimate cries that are coming from our African American fellow citizens.
On this point, Clinton has found agreement with some high-profile conservatives, including Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, as well as potential Republican vice presidential candidate Newt Gingrich. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you, Lana. The Manatee High School Student Council is looking to support those affected by the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. The students are teaming up with One Blood Blood Bank to host a blood drive this weekend in honor of the victims. It will take place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Manatee High School on 33rd Street. The gymnastics team that will represent the U.S. in the Rio Summer Games has finally been chosen. Among the 5 women to make the team is 19-year-old Simone Biles. She's the first woman in nearly 40 years to win 4 consecutive U.S. women's gymnastics championships. She'll be joined by defending Olympic champion 20-year-old Gabby Douglas and 3-time Olympic medalist Aly Raisman. Madison Kosian and Lori Hernandez will be attending their first Olympic Games. The Rio Summer Olympic Games kick off on August 5th. Coming up, a lot of kids suck their thumbs while others don't.
Because I'm not a baby.
But if your child does, a new study has information that you may be interested in. That story is next in Health News.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get America's best value, a new Grand Caravan for just $18,999 or a new Dodge Journey for just $16,999. Stop by today to shop the area's biggest selection of Ram trucks and save up to $8,000 on your new Ram. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Looks like we're getting another new neighbor.
Now you could be the millionaire next door. Play Monopoly Florida Edition scratch-off games with a top prize of $5 million. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better eater.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
I was following the law. I was following the Attorney General's opinions. I was trying to listen to my constituents on an issue of public importance.
A commissioner prevails in her Sunshine lawsuit, but an appeal is in the works, and who pays those legal bills? I'm Ray Collins, that in our roundtable discussion.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
A recall that could affect your breakfast fare. Continental Mills is recalling its Krusteaz Blueberry Pancake Mix. The company says a blueberry nugget in the mix is made with a small percentage of flour that was recalled by General Mills over possible E. coli contamination. The recall affects products manufactured between April of 2016 and June of 2016. So far, the company says no illnesses have been reported, but they are asking people who have this recalled product to call its consumer relations team to receive a refund and then throw away the mix. A long-term study finds children who suck their thumbs and bite their nails may be protected from allergies. ABC 7's Alex Redmond joins us with more. Alex.
Thanks, Haley. Parents of nail biters and thumb suckers often tell their children, take your fingers out your mouth. But research suggests there may be little need for these warnings. 4-year-old Brooks says
no
to sucking his thumb.
Because I'm not a baby.
New mom Bunny Angela Mazurowski says baby Gianna started sucking her thumb right away.
She usually sucks her thumb when she's
hungry.
There's only one thing Mazurowski says she's concerned about.
Is germ-wise, because you know, she gets into other things.
If you have kids, as a parent, you may be concerned that they're biting their nails or sucking their thumb. But now a new study suggests they may actually be building some resistance.
Because we know that we as people have a right to survive on this planet only because we're able to battle bacteria, viruses, and fungi.
Now research of a long-term study of more than 1,030 children born between 1972 and 73, published in the journal Pediatrics, finds thumb-sucking and nail-biting in young children may be protective.
And what they found is that those who had been sucking their thumbs had less likelihood of allergies.
At age 13, 39% of thumbsuckers and nail biters showed sensitivity to allergens, compared to 49% of children who had neither habit.
What the study also found is that there was no correlation between thumb sucking and hay fever or asthma.
The link between thumb-sucking, nail-biting, and allergen sensitivity was still seen at age 32. Father of two, Matt McHugh of Julie Rohr Academy and Sarasota Academy of the Arts works with kids from 2 to 14 years old.
The oldest child I think I've ever seen sucking their thumb was probably second grade, first or second grade, so 7, 8 years old.
Dr. Mason's advice to parents?
Don't be so worried if the children are sucking their thumb. As long as it doesn't impair their speech, this may in fact be protective.
According to the American Dental Association, thumb sucking does not cause permanent problems with the teeth or jawline unless it's continued beyond 4 to 5 years of age.
And Alex, what are some of the other implications of doing this?
Well, if you do this, you may have to end up going to the orthodontist for braces, and it can get pretty severe because as a former thumb sucker, I do know that I don't have many allergies, but my teeth went through the mill. I mean, it was years and years and thousands of dollars, which thank goodness I was able to get, but not a good thing. So don't suck your thumb too much. Suck it enough to protect yourself from the allergens.
That was my sister with the pacifier growing up. She had to deal with all the orthodontics too. So yeah, I can vouch for that. Thank you, Alex. Now let's head over to Bob and take a look at our forecast.
Well, I think a lot of people are sucking down those free Slurpees today as a result of 7-Eleven at the 7-Eleven stores. A hot day today. Anna Maria webcam showing beautiful conditions out there on the waters. The sea's running less than 2 feet. And this is at Bimini Bay right there at Anna Maria webcam showing calm conditions there. Not many storms around, but they are building. They're starting to build along that sea breeze front. There's an inversion layer. What we call is actually it starts to warm up as you go higher into the atmosphere. And that usually caps the storms from becoming too widespread. And that's what we're seeing this afternoon. A few isolated cells have been popping up here and there. This one in particular caused some outflow boundaries earlier. And then this one is starting to really generate some lightning strikes. So be careful. In South Sarasota County right now, we've had a number of lightning strikes there just in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And you can see a lot of those are outside of the rain area. And when that happens, that's known as a bolt from the blue. And they can be very dangerous and surprising to a lot of folks there that it may not be raining where you're at. But if you can hear the thunder, you're close enough to getting hit by these dangerous lightning strikes that are occurring. And we've had some blue showing up there too, and some of those indicating the positive strikes, which have much more amperage to them. And this storm is starting to build too, up to 50,000 feet now, so this one has the potential for producing some strong gusty winds too as it makes its way very slowly now to the south and to the east. So that's the one that we're looking for. Other showers starting to pop up here and there in the interior portions of our viewing area. As far as the satellite and radar picture goes, high pressure is going to build in from the Atlantic right now. With that high pressure building in, we'll see more of an east to southeasterly wind component, which will kind of butt up against that sea breeze in the afternoon and evening, which will cause a better chance for some showers and storms to develop in the afternoon and evening here along the Sun Coast. It's 94 right now, heat index at 102, dew point at 72. Our high today was close to a record 95, the record 97 set back in 2015, so just last year. No rainfall officially at the airport. We're below average for the month thus far. Temperatures for lows tonight will be a little bit above average. Port Charlotte 76, Northport 75 degrees, 77 in Osprey, and Braden you'll drop down to 77. A little bit warmer out in Anna Maria and Longboat Key into the upper 70s there. Well, this particular forecast model does show showers making their way toward the coast later on this evening and eventually dissipating after midnight. We'll start off sunshine tomorrow. Showers and storms again developing. Some of those could be rather heavy, pushing off toward the west into the late afternoon and evening, all the way up until 9, 10 o'clock. We'll have a chance for showers. And this pattern, I think, will persist throughout much of this week and into the weekend. And then eventually we'll have to keep an eye on that dust that's out there in the Atlantic. We talked about that earlier. That may kind of inhibit our storms come midweek next week. But it's hot in Dallas, Kansas City right now, St. Louis, 92 degrees, a bit cooler in Boston at 70. It's 85 now in the nation's capital over the U.S. Southeast winds for boaters turn to the west at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 2 feet or less, so just a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature really heating up, 91 degrees, and that's at the end of the Venice Pier. And we're expecting a high of 90 even at the beaches tomorrow with a high UV index. High tide upcoming, 624. And the forecast tonight, isolated evening showers and some thunderstorms, staying warm overnight, 76 for a low, and then warm and muggy tomorrow with scattered afternoon storms in the mix. And that'll be those sea breeze storms, so there'll be pop-up hit or miss variety. The extended forecast calling for typical summer-like weather conditions with those afternoon and evening storms each and every day. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Traffic is still picking up in Manatee County between Palmetto and Bradenton. And in Sarasota County, there is some congestion along US 301 and Bee Ridge Road. But traffic on I-75 going north is pretty smooth. Universal Orlando is opening a new hotel. The tropical-themed Sapphire Falls Resort will have 115,000 square feet for meetings and events, including covered walkways to another hotel's conference area. But the main draw for this resort will be conventions. Orange County will be adding this resort to the list of hotels that it works with to book rooms for larger events. This will be Universal Orlando's 5th hotel that is aimed at attracting more convention bookings. Sapphire Falls opens this Thursday. Entertainment news is next.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
At 6:30, ABC brings you news from around the world, and now ABC 7 brings you more in-depth coverage of the stories making news on the Suncoast. Join your Suncoast news team for the all-new ABC 7 News at 7.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dottoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry is recovering after suffering a heart attack during his concert last night. The 65-year-old was performing with the Hollywood Vampires in New York with his bandmates Alice Cooper and actor Johnny Depp. Perry collapsed about 30 seconds into his performance. He was taken to the hospital. According to Cooper, Perry is in stable condition and is surrounded by family. Shaka Khan and her sister are battling their addiction to prescription drugs. The two have entered a drug rehab program together. During her rehab, the 63-year-old Grammy-winning singer is expected to still be recording and be back on tour August 1st. According to her rep, the death of her good friend Prince sped up her decision to get help. Taylor Swift is topping Forbes' annual list of the 100 highest paid celebrities at more than $170 million. That's more than Adele, Rihanna, and Madonna, who earned $76 million. Other top paid celebs include Kevin Hart, Howard Stern, and Kim Kardashian. A bit of a mix-up between the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Metallica. Peppers bass player Flea ended up autographing some Metallica items at an airport. He signed his name to a Metallica album, a DVD, and pictures of the band. He says that the band tried to explain to the customs officials who asked for the autographs they had the wrong band, but he says that they still insisted that they signed the memorabilia anyway. This photo was posted on his Instagram account. They were good sports, so hey, pretty cool. We'll be right back.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.